Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. For today's look, I played around with some green and pink makeup, and then I tried to do some kind of graphic liner. You know, we're still practicing, but we'll get there. It was a lot of fun to do. If you aren't already subscribed, please make sure to do so because it really helps out my channel, and you can ring the bell while you're at it. And give this video a thumbs up. I post new content every Tuesday and Thursday, and without further ado, let's get into it. So I already put my brows on. I'll make sure to link that tutorial in the cards above if you haven't seen it. And now I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer, and this is just their white one. I want to use some pretty colorful eyeshadows today, so this will just help them stand out a little more. Now I'm just going to set that concealer in place with Flashback, which is the white shade from the Morphe and James Charles palette. Okay, now from the Juvia Place Zulu palette, I'm taking this kind of tealish green color and buffing that all throughout my crease, building it up very slowly because greens can be a little bit hard to blend sometimes. If you ever feel like you need a little bit of help blending, you can always take just a clean kind of fluffy brush and go over those edges. Now to add just a little bit more true green tones, I'm going to take Peaky from the e.l.f. and Jkissa to the Rescue palette and buff that a little bit in the crease. This will help deepen it up. Now I'm taking Tank from that same palette and running that even deeper in the crease. And you can go back in with your previous brushes or even the clean brush again, just to help blend that color out. Now on that same smaller brush, I'm going to take Thatcher and run that just in the very outer corner of the crease because I'm going to want to lay down a purple, so having this blue will help it transition into the green. Then you can go back in and blend it out with that brush again. Now with the Makeup a Murder Pastel Poison Pigment in Mint, I am just picking it up on a fluffy brush, and for these I just like to kind of tap my brush on the stopper and then tap my brush off to get any fallout off. I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges even more and just kind of soften things up. Going back in with that white concealer from LA Girl, I am just going to pick that up on a very skinny kind of liner brush. And first I'm going to put it on my lid and look up to see where I want my cut crease to be. And give myself kind of a rough outline. Ow, will you stop kicking me? Oh, good stretch. You're so cute. Okay, now I just have some makeup remover on a Q-tip. This is just the Clinique Rinse Off makeup remover. It's a little one that I have here. And I'm just gonna remove any makeup that's under that little rough outline that we did. I can use a more precise brush to get right up against that line. Now I'm gonna take kind of a flat brush and pick up some of that makeup remover to get a very sharp cut crease. You can take the dry part of the makeup or the Q-tip to just wipe away any excess. Now I'm gonna fill that area in with the LA Girl concealer again. Now with the Pastel Poison Makeup a Murder pigment in, I think this is Bubblegum, just their pastel pink shade. I'm gonna pack that on the inner half of our cut crease here. Now I'm gonna go over that a little bit with the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush in Sugar from the Pink Passion Blush Trio. Now I'm taking Sandbar from the Colourpop She's a Rainbow palette. I'm gonna pack that on the kind of center slash outer portion of our cut crease, just right here. I'm gonna put another shade over that later, but I want a nice base. A nice hot pink here. Hopping back over to the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, I'm just taking that purple shade. Again, tapping off my brush to get rid of any fallout that might occur. And I'm packing that on the very outer corner. And then to help that purple blend in, you can use some of your dark blue from earlier. This is Thatcher from the Elf and Jkissa to the Rescue palette. And just use that to help buff that inner corner. Hey bud. Or the outer corner. And with the green, and that nice blue gradient between the green and the purple really helps. Now I'm using some of the Makeup a Murder Poison Neon Pigment. This is just their hot pink shade, and I am gonna pack that on top of our hot pink from earlier, just to kind of brighten things up. And you can use your purple brush to blend those ones together, and then the brush that you used your light pink on to blend these guys together. And just pack and blend until you get it looking right. I'm gonna go do the same thing on my other eye and I'll be right back. I'm gonna finish off the complexion before I do the rest of the eye, so I'm just priming with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh primer. Gonna use the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer just on the areas where my pores are a little more visible. Gonna use some of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. Filmed my first impression, so if you want to see that, I'll link it in the cards above. But this has very quickly become one of my favorite foundations. I'm gonna conceal my under eyes with some of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh concealer. And then just any other little spots poking through. And now I'm just gonna set my under eyes with the Coty Airspun powder. And then I'll dust just a tiny bit on the rest of my face. I'm gonna contour a little bit with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow contouring palette. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the Physician Formula Butter Bronzer to warm up the complexion. Gonna do a mixture of Basically and Sugar from that same Anastasia blush trio. This is the Pink Passion one. A little bit too much on my nose, so I'm just taking my velour puff to kind of blend out those edges. And now I'm highlighting with the Essence Pure Nude highlighter and Be My Highlight. my brow bone while we're here. Going in with the e.l.f. brow pencil just to redefine my big freckle. So going back in with Thatcher. This is just the dark blue shade from the e.l.f. and Jkissa palette. I'm gonna pick that up on a smaller kind of smudger brush and start packing that on the lower lash line, just trying to connect it with the upper colors. Before I go any farther, I'm actually gonna line my waterline with a white liner. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner in Polished White. I like doing this because I feel like when you blend eyeshadow right next to it, it kind of makes a colored liner on your waterline. I'm only bringing this about 2/3 of the way in. I'm gonna blend that out with just a little bit of this green shade from the Zulu palette. And I'm just blending those out even further with a little bit of that Makeup a Murder Mint pigment. Again, I'm just picking it up off the stopper. Make sure these edges are blended out with that color as well. I'm gonna take some of that pastel pink pigment again and pack that on my very inner corner. I know I've used 5 million different eyeshadow palettes, but I'm gonna take this kind of shimmery pink from the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palette in Rose Water and just pop that over the pink on my inner corner. Now I'm gonna make kind of a teal liner by mixing the Suva Beauty Hydra FX liners in Tracksuit and Fanny Pack. So I'm gonna first start out by spraying a little bit of water just into the caps. I'm gonna have a brush specifically for the green and specifically for the blue. So I get my brush wet in the cap and then I swirl it around. I don't like to spray water directly into the pot because then it takes forever to dry and then you risk just kind of bacteria growth and whatnot. And so as soon as this is all mixed up well, I'm scooping up a little bit on my brush and plopping it onto just a little palette. You could use the lid to something. You could mix the colors in the caps themselves. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the blue, taking a clean brush and mixing up some blue. Really want to make sure that it gets thick enough. I'm scooping up some, placing it right next to the green. And now I'm taking a third brush. This way, if I want to dab back into either of those colors to pick up more blue or more green, I have those dedicated brushes for those so I don't contaminate the pots. And I'm gonna start mixing until I get the teal color that I want. I want a little bit of green. I'm gonna lean more towards blue. I think I want a little more blue in there. Yeah. And so you just mix until you find the color that you want. Now I'm gonna line my eyes and give myself a little wing with this. Now I'm gonna elongate my very inner corner just by placing it not in like the inner corner where I put the pink, but just on that very inner tear duct. And these are water activated liners, and so this part will probably move throughout the day, but I'm okay with that. Now I'm gonna make a baby pink using the Suva Beauty Hydra FX liners in Space Panda and Scrunchie. Again, just squirting some water into the caps of them, and then I'll dip my brush into those so I don't squirt water directly into the little pot. So I have a brush designated for the pink. I'm gonna swirl her up, get a nice consistency, and then I'll scoop it onto my little palette. And for the white, I'm gonna want more white than I have pink. So I'm gonna keep that in mind when placing that on the palette and when mixing them up. Doing a significantly larger amount of the white. I'm taking a third brush, I'm taking a little bit of the pink and starting to incorporate that into the white. And I think I got it on the first try. So I mixed my little baby pink here. And now this could go terribly wrong, but Color This Face, I think that's her name on Instagram, I'll link her down below. She always does really fun kind of accent liner. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna outline the very outer portion of my wing here first. Okay, try the other side. Okay, those aren't even, but we're gonna go with it. Now I'm gonna line the very upper portion of where I lined my lid. This is not the time to have shaky hands. Alright, I am gonna go back over our teal, and it's kind of dried up on my palette, so I'm just gonna get the brush wet and kind of swirl back into it to reactivate it. They are just kind of water activated paints. It's really great that you can do that, and I'm just gonna go back over this portion of the teal to sharpen it up a little bit and clean it. So I kind of did the top half here, and then the bottom half right on the outer corners. I'm gonna take my pink again and use that to line the cut crease, kind of like you've seen me do with glitter before. And this makes me nervous because I like how it looks, but it's worth the risk. We got kind of messy, I'll clean it up. Okay, don't want to mess with it too much. That one went on so much nicer. I feel like I have to thicken it now to match this one though. I'm gonna take a cleaner brush, see if I can blend away any of this liner. Okay, that's working. Okay, that's that. Now I'm gonna take some of the Milani Ludicrous Lights eye topper in Pink-Aroo. Just pop that on my inner corner for a little more sparkle. Then I will use a fluffier brush to blend that out. I'm gonna pop on some lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm going to take the Colourpop Lippy Pencil. Okay, now I'm gonna take the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in Lumiere and line my lips. I'm gonna go over that with some of the Sephora Lip Stories Balm in Catching Waves. I want that to be a little more pink, so I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Pin-Up Pink Gloss. Oh, and I forgot to say I'm wearing the Ardell Wispies, and I used the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara to mesh my lashes with those, and then I popped that on the lower lashes as well. Oh, and then I used the teal liner that we made earlier just to go over the lash band to kind of conceal it a little bit because these lashes are on their last legs. But that's the finished look. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday.